to another replay guy, Hooray, otherwise known as Hard. I'd like to introduce myself as the host of the channel, Michael or Mike Canistrari. And today's session is going to be a little bit about how I got to this point in my life of gaming. And I hope everybody enjoys the session. And we will definitely need to stop for a second. Nope, we're okay. Just a telemarketer. This is just a test, anyways. Um, First of all, I got into gaming back in 1970. So yes, I'm an old fart, uh, but still, I think young at heart, and kind of go through the history of my going through gaming. Again, 1970, I started playing Gil Hodge's Pennant Fever. A friend of mine in the neighborhood got the game for his birthday, and we started playing that in the summer. His birthday was in early June, and we played that game hours on end um, on the picnic table out in his backyard during the summer. Uh, he being an avid Yankee fan, and me being an avid Red Sox fan, so it was quite a interesting relationship there. And we played that game, you know, 6, 7 hours a day, playing all the teams. Of course, this game was in 1970, so I tried to play the New York Mets as much as possible, as we all were able to watch the Mets and their miracle season in '69, and basically that's the season that's represented in this game. From there, went to Sports Illustrated Games, um, Fran Tarkington football, but mostly baseball games. And then the computer games came along, and it was Micro League, Earl Weaver, Tony La Russa, and different games like that. I started playing OOTP 1 way back when, Status Pro baseball. And that was it. Really, it was the Sports Illustrated games throughout high school, then went on to college outside of Boston, and really didn't play any games until I believe my junior year in college, where I picked up a game in Harvard Square at the bookstore called Long Ball, a baseball game that seemed totally different from what I had played before, and bought the game and brought it back, and my roommates and I played that game quite a bit during our off hours of not of studying. Uh, and then my senior year, one of my roommates came back from the summer with Stratomatic football, which we played constantly our senior year. Most of us really only had a couple of core courses that we needed to pass to graduate. So we had a lot of free time senior year. So it was a lot of back then beer drinking and playing Stratomatic football, though I couldn't tell you today how to play that game. It's been so long. Um, so once college came and went, you know, you end up, as most people do, getting married, having kids, grandkids, and here I am at the age of 66, and really just a year into getting back into gaming. It all started one night on a Google search, just searching really for Gil Hodge's Pennant Fever game, looking to see where I could find it and if I could get a copy of it, just for nostalgic times and to play it also. And found that it had been resurrected under everyday players games, and that along with their hockey, basketball, and football games. So I did order that game. Uh, in the meantime, in my search, I found play.com and started reading about them and their games. And the first game I ordered from them was the History Maker Golf, and got the game and fell in love with the game. It was incredible. Had played some golf games way back when, game called Challenge Golf, and I think there was another game that I played briefly, 3M Golf. But this game was just incredible, and really enjoyed it. And started looking at some of their other games. Looked at History Maker Baseball and said, I'm not really quite sure how that's going to work with the qualities. I should have realized that it was probably going to be really a good game based on the golf game. And luckily, Keith Avalon and his son Sam were going to be coming to Hartford, Connecticut in October of the last year, and to show off their highlight hoops game and to run their baseball tournament for the playoffs. And so I decided to go and go up to Hartford and meet them and play in these games. And that was in October. I had emailed Keith a few times before that. And in September, I was diagnosed with bladder cancer. And the Tuesday before that, Saturday, that play was going to be doing their series of games in Hartford. I was in the hospital being tested to find out what was going on. And Tuesday, went in for some serious testing. Uh, Only lasted a day, but it was an experience. Um, Felt better the rest of the week. By Saturday, I felt great. Uh, I said, okay, I'm able to drive, do what I need to do. So I took the hour drive up to Hartford, and just an incredible day. Keith and Sam, just incredible people, and made me feel at home because I walked into the room and there was probably 15 to 20 people there, total strangers. Most of them had played a lot of these play games, and I had no experience, but um, was welcomed into the group and made comfortable for the rest of the day. And my first experience with the baseball was History Maker Express, in which they ran their tournament with, and found it very interesting. And that got me thinking. Said, okay, I need to get that History Maker baseball game when I get back. The nice thing is, I did meet someone at the convention where we were playing in the tournament together, and really, really super nice person. I'm not going to mention names now, but uh, we parted ways, and probably a week later, I received a package for History Maker Baseball and the 1967 season, which was a season that I had discussed with him with the tournament. And he took note of that and sent that to me as kind of, hey, you're recovering from your procedure, and this will get you through it. And was really, really impressed and shocked by um the donation or contribution or whatever you want to call it for the gift. Um, that was, and it came at a good time because 2 days later, well, actually a day later, on Sunday after the convention, uh, I started having issues, and I went to the emergency room. And from there, I was admitted to the hospital and was in the hospital for 4 days, and was not fun. And that's basically when I was told that I had bladder cancer. And talk about a shock. Um, they say bladder cancer, the two number one causes are working around chemicals and smoking, of which I did neither. So it was kind of a shock. And being at that time 65, I was on the low end of the spectrum for men for getting bladder cancer. It's common between 75 and 80 years old. But that was quite a shock. So it took a couple of months of back and forth going through or getting advice from different people, or doctors, I should say. And long story short, I started chemo and radiation in the middle of February and had chemo for 6 weeks, once a week for about 8 to 10 hours a day. And I had radiation every single day. And it was a procedure that they had not used before to treat this particular cancer in the bladder. So you could say it was experimental. The original diagnosis was to remove the bladder entirely, which I kind of balked at because when I asked the doctor, did this mean I had stage 3 or 4 cancer? The doctor said no. He goes, I wouldn't even label it as stage 1 at this point, but because it's the type of tumor that it is, it's difficult to remove and then eventually does spread. So um, it's a lot easier to remove the bladder and deal with life without a bladder. And I just wasn't ready for that at that point. So um, you know, got second and third opinions and went this route of the chemo and radiation. And here we are, you know, almost in the end of 2023. And I had my 6 month checkup a few weeks ago. Well, actually in September, because I'll be coming up for my 9th month checkup in December. And I am cancer free. Um, but and pleased, just really pleased. But the main thing, or main point I'd like to make is that the gaming community got me through these tough times, and this is one of the reasons why I wanted to start a channel. I wanted to give back to the community, give back the experience that I'm having as a newly found gaming person again, and hopefully convince other people to get into the gaming, and maybe some of the younger people to get into the gaming, um, so that they can enjoy the experiences that I've had. One of the first things I did with the History Maker Baseball 67 season was to replay the 1967 Red Sox season. And I did that. It took, I started, I believe, in the end of November and worked my way through um, just before chemo, and actually during chemo, I should say. I got through uh, most of the season. I believe it was probably the last month of chemo and radiation that I was getting so tired that at night I just didn't want to pull out the dice and the games and play. So I kind of took a hiatus from playing games. Uh, and It was great. I ended up playing 162 games, won 7 more games than the Red Sox did in 67, won 99 versus 92, and unfortunately played St. Louis in the World Series. And unlike the real Red Sox, uh, I was beaten 5 games rather than in 7. So the Cardinals really took it to me in the playoffs. But just an incredible game. The stats were amazing. It was amazing how the games played out, um, and how the stats played out. I mean, I was really impressed with the numbers compared to other games where you're looking at numbers on a card. These were by qualities, and the qualities really did, uh, do what they had to do, and I was really impressed with that. Um, those files are on the Play Facebook page, so if anybody wants to take a look at those files, they are out there. I have the hitting and the individual hitting and individual pitching stats, real and compare, replay. And I think if you look at it, you'll find that very interesting. So from there, I've continued on playing baseball games. There's other baseball games out there that are interesting. Still to this day, and I'm 66 now, have not played Stratomatic or APA baseball. And I'm not really sure if I'll even get to that point. There are just so many other games out there. And with History Maker Baseball, um, I have a game that I enjoy and, will probably be my number one for the next few years, if not forever for me. Uh, it's just an incredible game, and I really enjoy it. Um, one of the things I'm going to be doing on this channel is I'm going to be doing the 1973 50th anniversary card set versus the 1998 25th anniversary card set, and going to hold a tournament. Play. I'm hopefully going to play all the games online. For the most part, in the beginning, I will be recording these and then posting them as I get used to uh, presenting the information, presenting the games. And then when I get brave, I will try to go live. But at this point, we're still trying to get through all the technical things, the lighting, the cameras. Uh, Still not sure of how graphics go. Um, everybody I watch seems to know how to get those graphics and announcements and things like that. So, got to work on that. So in the beginning, it's going to be a little raw, rough, but hopefully enjoyable. One of the other things, my hobbies is fantasy baseball. I've been doing that since 1990. I'm in 4 local leagues where we hold our drafts in person, except for the COVID years. And many of these guys are in all 4 leagues. And we have ex Major League Baseball scouts. We have an ex Major League manager's son in the league. We've had some fathers in the league whose sons have been drafted in to Major League Baseball and did play briefly in the majors. So it's a good group of guys here in southeastern Connecticut that know their baseball. So these fantasy baseball leagues are tough. They're tough to win, but a lot of fun. And our draft days are probably some of the best days you can have. And baseball stories flow for 8 to 10 hours a day. We usually end up doing 4 drafts um, in 2 days, Saturday and Sunday, 2 each day. 3 of them are keeper leagues, so those drafts are not as long, but we wrap up the weekend with our league that's a redraft league. So that's the one that takes the most, and that goes for a good 6 to 8 hours as we draft our teams. I've had very good success in these leagues, and I really enjoy it. So hopefully I'll be able to maybe tie in gaming with a little bit of fantasy baseball and also some life stories of some of the things that have touched my personal life with professional sports over the years. Like I said, I'm 66, so I've been around for a while, seeing quite a few things, and look forward to presenting my tournament over the next few months. I'm figuring it's probably going to maybe last until the real baseball season starts, but I hope it fills a void for people. Um, and I'll do another video to explain that tournament, how it's going to work, and really, that's about it for this first session. I know it's not the best, but we did want to get started. I keep saying I want to start, I start, and I just don't get enough courage to do it, and you know, I feel now I can do it. Gonna be a little rough in the beginning, but once I get used to being behind the camera, talking to the camera, um, hopefully things will get better, graphics will get better, and until next time, we will see you later. Have a good one. Bye.